start streaming. Double check Twitch. Okay, it is streaming. Okay, it is streaming. Okay, it is streaming. Reopen OBS and okay, for the next bit, I did some drawing offline. I made it all the way through, let's see, Countess Elowin's. I had already done Countess Shenadin's as she was a former Baroness of Aquaterra, and as the Principal Herald, I went around and actually drew up nice arms for every one of the past barons and baronesses. So we're going to start with Duke Skopti, which is that one right there. Okay, just move a few windows around so they're easy to access on my second monitor, and then I can start. I want to put that in easy. Bring up OBS so I can monitor any chat that might happen, and back into Illustrator. So I've already dropped Duke Skopti's coat of arms on there, and for this one I'm actually going to try and replicate the eagle as it's drawn. So this is actually going to take a little bit of while as I do I'm not going to use the trace tool because I've never really liked how the files it produces are. Basically how the trace would do would be it would give me a path around the inside here and a path around the outside there, and that black line would be its own fill. That yellow fill area would also be its own fill. Where if I draw an outline and then I draw these lines in separately, I can fill this entire area. And I can basically have a lot better control on where the fills are going to be. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tackle this border. And I think I'm going to actually turn off the desktop audio so as I'm working you guys don't hear Windows issuing error beeps because I held down Alt and clicked something. So since I don't need to do any field divisions, I can automatically just get rid of my alignment field. And like yesterday, I'm just going to copy that path, which is, and then scale it down. Oh, I need 2 copies. And I'll scale it down real quick. That looks like a good enough border, and shift it up so it actually looks a little bit better balanced. And we're gonna again just go in, make a compound path, and there I've got a border. I can now color the field sable. I can color the border ore, and then I'll go and grab some ermine spots. Okay, and before I screw up and accidentally ruin my base file again, okay, grab that name, and we're going to save this as Skopti Thorensen in the proper directory. And yeah, here's an idea of all the ones I've done in this project, which actually is nowhere near as one of my last projects. Okay, that is now saved off. Now we're going to open up Duke Thorin's because I know Duke Thorin's coat of arms has ermine spots. And just grab one of those. And technically, it's not ermine spots on an ore field. It's going to be ermine oys, which is an ore field with a semi of ermine spots, where ermine is an argent field with a semi of ermine spots. Both of those are sable, making this a metal field. So we're going to take care of that. And I can close Duke Thorn's coat of arms, and I'll just get that centered and start scaling it down just a tad. That looks good. And I'll start dragging extra. And for a semi, you don't need to have it symmetrical. It just means it's strewn, and for our purposes, a semi is when there's more than seven or more of the same charge on the field. So it's just a way of shortening a blazon versus, I could say, a semi of, oh, let's go Maskell's, which is a voided diamond shape, versus, okay, we're going to have 7 Maskell's, and then you'd have to blazon possibly location of them where, and the whole point is to reduce the length of the blazon so it's a lot easier to reproduce off of, and for the scribes, a lot easier to write. So we're going to just drag these roughly where I think they should go. Okay. Okay, and let's see. I'll just make this easier on me and do it this way. Actually, I want to adjust this one right here slightly first. There we go. And just to make it easier on me, I'll just make a copy over there. I'll reflect it on the vertical, and then just line it up like that. And there we have his border. And I'm going to actually group all of these. So I'm going to turn that off, and just select everything at once. Group. I'm going to lock down the reference image, and I'm going to group this on top of the border just to reduce how many layers are being shown. So that makes that easy enough. Now I'm going to start tackling the eagle. The hardest part is actually going to be figuring out which part of the eagle to draw first. I'm going to start with the body and the head, which is right about there. I think these are feathers attached to the back of the head. I am not sure, though they could be the back side of the wing. Actually, yeah, with how you can see the outline of the wing continue this way, and those are ruffles on the back, so I'm not going to worry about that. And the head just spikes down like that. So for this, I'm going to turn off my field, bring up that really annoying green color I like using because it contrasts about everything I'm going to be working with, and bring up the pen tool. And we're going to start right there, and just work our way around. Let's see, that beak is going to come that way and come around this way. Okay, that's part of the claw on that leg. That's good to know. Looks like this middle clock extends down there. So I'll just ignore that set of lines. Let's undo that last line real quick, and I'm going to actually pick up the back side of the head real quick. And just go this way and now that I'm in an area that's going to be hidden by the wing, I'm not too worried about how that body is going to be, but I am going to line up for the start of the tail section because I'm going to attach this tail section here to the main body, because all the attachment points would be hidden by either the wing or the this upper leg right here. So let's try and get it to line up. We'll come up right to there, and I don't like that placement, and we'll come down to there. Okay. I think that might be as good as I'm going to get that section real quick. Let's do a quick join on that. And I'm going to actually turn that off for a few. I'm going to do this front wing. I think right there is a good spot to start with. No. There we go. I'll just start outlining it. Coincidentally, I probably could have contacted people I know. My Baron was one of Skopti's squires, so I probably could have gotten a higher quality image to work off of, but since about everything else I'm doing is working off of the roll of arms, there will be some when I get to doing coats of arms of peers that I've already done. I know of at least two. I know of two laurels that I have done the coats of arms for, as their former baronesses of Blothenor, where I started. One of which is a person I helped get their coat of arms submission passed, and both of which I have done very large silk painted banners for. Okay, we'll come down here. If I had access to a decent tripod and a video camera, I might sometime try and video record and then upload to YouTube video of how I do silk painting. It would have to be edited because some of the stuff is literally sitting around watching paint dry or going back to my computer and playing video games for the rest of the night. Stuff like when I put down all the resist, I let it dry overnight. Next day or a day or two later, I'll come back, put down a coat of paint, come back a few hours later, put down a coat of paint, and just rinse and repeat until the banner's done. Once I have everything heat set, most of the work falls on Angie because I don't have the control to operate the sewing machine all that well, and I usually trim my banners in bias tape to protect the edges, where some people who paint put down an extra thick coat of the resist. I've never liked how that looks, so my style is I finish off using a bias tape just to make it look like it's a nice clean edge. The whole purpose of that, or the resist, is to keep the silk or other fabric from fraying. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that line's going to come down this way. One of the harder parts about this is actually having to interpret which line I'm working on, where it might need to be followed, where I think it's being followed, it might be the wrong one. So you'll see me basically scroll on the mouse and zoom in, zoom out fast to just get a bearing of where I'm at. And with certain lines that are like hidden behind other features, it actually becomes just a guessing game, and what you might be able to get look right. Okay, there's that. I'm going to go in and start doing the inner detailings. Okay, did I accidentally undo my endpoint? No. Oh, that's annoying how that's done. Okay, that's how I'll have to do this. Okay. Okay. Find that anchor point. There it is. Okay. Next, inner detailing. Okay, and find that anchor point and just drop that line to there. Okay, and we're gonna just close that loop, that anchor point to that anchor point, and then just this one. Okay, two right there. Okay. Start the next line right about there. And okay. I'll add these little circle details in after I get the rest of this done. Although it looks like it's just a loop that comes out and loops over there with a circle. Okay, now I'll start on this. Okay, and just connect that up like that. I'll just take this circle off of right there, and just connect it in right there. Oh, I almost forgot this last little. Okay, we'll just loop it around. And I'll adjust that line in a moment. I eyeballed that semi-decently. Okay. And I'll just repeat this like I did that one. And just drop that right there. And I missed the path. I'm not sure if that's how that's supposed to be. I'm just estimating what I can. Okay, now that I've got that part of the wing done, I'm going to, before I do anything else, I'm going to actually make a copy of the outer part of the wing to do the feather section with. I'm going to turn off the lower one. Now I'm just going to group all these. We're gonna play with the colors so you can see what I was able to get done. The green outline helps, but this will help a bit more. And we'll set the wing color to yellow. And now that that's placed, I'm going to lock that layer and turn it off. Turn off this copy layer I made. And let's cut this right about there and right about there. Get rid of what I don't need. Oh, I do need to reconnect stuff. I'll go in and fix that before I forget. Turn this off. There we go. Now that's fixed. Okay. Okay, this line comes up like that. A little gentler of a curve. Gentle curve. over. Get rid of the handle because I don't want to play with, I want to control the Bezier curve. Okay. That's good enough. And I can adjust that little bit of line over here. When I get to this section of tail here, I'll make a copy of the main body I did already. Okay, now that I've got that roughed in, I'll start putting in lines as I can. So these are going to be some long lines. Okay, and it has a very, very, very shallow S curve on it. So let's try and at least accomplish that. And these sections of feathers will be added in after I get all the main lines in. Okay, start that curve, start that curve. Okay. Oh, okay, with how the layers are going, this is going to have to go underneath the body layer because just how the tail section comes out. I'm going to turn that on real quick because I need to line up off the body for that set of lines. Okay. There we go. Come off this line about right there. Just can't do that. Come off this line about right there. Okay. That's a little aggressive on how the S curve was ending. There we go. One more of these, and I think this might just be a might be able to get away with more of a that style patterning. let's use tools to my advantage. Okay, make that a group. Select the group and I can manipulate this one as needed. Just make that a little smaller. Move this tail over here. That. Move that in like that. And I think this S's, so let's make another path right there. And I can just do this. This one is closer to this, so same size too. Same size. That one is visibly smaller. I'll move this tail like that. And I didn't copy when I moved it. So let's try that again. Scale it down a bit. Move the tail over here. And there. Okay, let's see. Let's lock that for a moment. Let's make those a group. Unlock this. Lock that so I have a actual reference point. Control G. And just drop that right there. Okay, let's get this one. Turn that on. Okay, we'll just... There's one of the wings done. Okay, like I said, I need this body on because this body goes over that section of wing, and we'll just make a copy of it because I'm going to need to work on the tail next. And that's locked. I'm going to lock that. Okay, what is that? Oh, I accidentally pasted Duke Scopti's name on here. I don't even need that layer. Okay. Okay, let's hide that. And we're going to cut this here and there. Get rid of what I don't need. And just to get that to line up a lot better up top, I'm going to follow this path going that way. And these details at least are just going to be really quick and simple with the ellipse tool. Okay, let's see. That there, a little aggressive. I'll turn off, get rid of the Bezier curve continuance and just eyeball that in separately. That. Move that until, okay. And now I can connect those two. Okay, let's start off with these lines first, because these are going to arch between each of these lines. Okay, this has just a little bit of an S shape. There we go. Now we're gonna start this set of lines. About right there. Undo that and try that again. There we go. And that's a better curve. Okay. Start the next one. Goes right there. Okay, those are done. Bring up the ellipse tool and I can start making those. That's about where it needs to be. There we go. Okay, turn off that real quick. Group, turn that back on and group it. Move to where I want it. Move it to where it needs to be. Okay. Ugh. Okay, we're going to now get the colors set. I think the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to get this other wing out of the way. The detailing on the head is going to be last, because I need to figure out where certain lines stop and end, or start and end, I should say. This wing, however, I can knock out fairly easily enough. Okay, let's unlock the... Okay, that's what I want. drag that up there for right now. Lock that again. Okay, we'll cut that there and let's cut it there. Okay, let's take this back to my annoying green color by just sampling up with the eyedropper off of, just for make it quick. And okay, turn that layer back off, back into my pen tool. And when I get this wing done, I'll actually drop it layer wise where it actually needs to go. There we go. And I'm not going to worry about following that line, because for this I'm going to again abuse the fact of where it's getting layered at. Okay, start that by taking that line to there. Okay, and I can adjust these curves as needed. There's that line. Okay. I did not want to do that. I wanted to start a new one. There's that. And that's a little too steep of a curve. If I do that, there we go, that's a lot better. Bring the pen tool back up, start the next one. There we go, that's an acceptable curve. Okay, pen tool back up. Okay. Looks like if I do it there and bring that around like that. Start this next one here, bring that up like that, and bring that one to right there. And then I can just connect that right into there. And just a little. Just that to there. That's a little steep. set the stroke color to black. Select just the outer line, and we'll just pick up that again. And we'll drop you all the way at the bottom. So that leaves, and this line right here I think is going to be the last, just so I can, no, I can have it, it will tuck in behind the leg. Okay, this tail should be underneath that wing. So let's move you to right there. There we go, now it's properly placed. Okay. Let's do the beak next. Hide that. Okay, we'll do a cut right there and a cut right there. Almost as if I planned it to be there. Anchor that. One little lump. Two little lumps. And now I can come into the beak. Okay. About right there. And we'll just make it a little exaggerated so when I drag it, it'll be very close or spot on. Okay, let's do the inner details. That lump looks like it connects all the way to that point right there. Like that. Phone's going off, let's take a look. Okay. Back into the pen tool. I think it's best if I follow that line like that. And this piece right here, I think if I just follow it to about right. Okay. Control G. Control G. Put that back where I want it. And that's where we're at right now. Let's do this lower leg next. I'm going to lock that on for right now. Okay, I think if I go that way, drop that down like that. There we go. These claws are going to be a bit hard to make out, to work with, but that's way more curved than I wanted. Let's move that so that point will be hidden behind when I put the talon in. I'm probably going to pull a talon from something I drew either tonight or last night or today. I'll go take a look at what I've got. That can go right there. This can come around like that to right there. Let's make that a little less aggressive. Get rid of that and give me a little bit more control. There we go. And I might be able to, depending on how everything turns out, copy this up to here and just use that as the upper leg. Okay, let's get this inner line taken care of. And actually, let me go take a look at what I did in the last few days. Okay, not Schneidens. Actually, I might grab it from Schneidens. Yeah. Okay. Let's grab me a talon. File open. That'll work. Close. Just move that over there for a moment. Okay, and just keep working on this. That is one thing that's throwing me off, is since my OBS control window's on my right monitor and I'm drawing on the left, if I look at the right monitor, I'm getting thrown off by which mouse cursor is which. Okay, we'll follow this up here, follow that like that. Move that like that. And if I do end up copying, let's see, if I do end up copying this lower leg into the upper leg position, which I think I'm going to just to save time, I'm still going to have to do a little bit of adjusting to follow this back section. So I'll probably draw this back section out, drop it onto the lower leg, and go from there. And I won't be bringing the inner detailing on it other than on the claw. Just add another one right there, and put that right there. I think if I do that, and I'll just connect this to there. I think I need to yeah, I'm going to get rid of that section in there. Okay, object transform, reflect. Scale this up a bit, rotate it, move that to the top. Let's save before I risk crashing. I'm going to scale that slightly down. This one's going to get scaled down, and we'll reflect this. Okay, I'm going to just turn those off right now. Turn this back off. Turn these back on. Lock that for right now. Lock that. Lock everything I'm not working on. Okay. does go over there. So I'm going to tuck you under that wing section. Oh, I can't. There we go. That'll work. I think I'm going to leave these inner details out on the legs. So I'll hide that, hide that. Okay, I do need to do that inner detailing one leg at a time. And yeah, doing this type of stuff can take a bit longer than you expect. Okay, let's just connect that into that, follow that around, and I'll end up connecting it back into that. Okay. Let's just connect this down like that. Now let's see how that looks. And I'll lock that group. Let's put these paths into that group as well. And I'll lock it and hide it. make this line black now. Unlock that. Let's start in on the details on the head. Turn off this back wing so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, turn off that real quick. Give myself a cut right there and a cut right there. Delete that. Okay, now that I can see that, let's drag that like that. go. Turn off those real quick. Turn those back on. There we go. There's Duke Scoptes. I'll get rid of that layer. Do the final save. Bring in my border for the coloring book. Let's see if there's going to be any issues doing this. Yes, there is. Okay, let's make the majority of the bird white and start doing this. Okay, turn that down. That I can get away with doing that on. Drop in the border. And I can close out. No. Okay. 31st Queen. Let's bring up a reference. Okay, that's going to be easy enough, and I've already got that torch drawn from Baroness Rowan, the founding Baroness of Blothenor. So let's easily do this. Okay, back into Illustrator, open up, and you'll notice I actually made a copy of my emergency save file just in case, because that actually came up earlier today before I started streaming. Okay, I believe since okay, we're going to be doing Regain, which is, I believe, Pneumonia in the roll of arms. Okay. Yep. And I dropped it onto the wrong layer. Okay. I'm not going to need an alignment layer, so I can get rid of that. Okay. Do I have a good crescent on hand? Yes, I do. Okay, let's make sure I save this off properly. Copy the name, and I can close that. Save this as. Okay, now we'll hit open. I believe the Blothenor stuff is in Heraldry. Baroness Rowan. Grab the torch. And just bring that over here. I'll adjust the coloring in a moment. Because of the flames, it's not letting me easily line this up. It's about as good as I'm going to get it. Scale it down just a very small tad to give me room for that coronet up top. Okay. Lock that. It didn't save the torch as a group. Actually, I think I had it as multiple paths on a layer, not a group. But that's easily remedied. Group those. Select that group. Let's give myself a nice yellow torch. Adjust the flame coloring. Nice red. There we go. Okay, that is locked. Let's drop a guide right between the 2 points of this crown. And before I get... Okay, there we go. I can close that, or minimize that. Lock the guide, lock that. Obnoxious green time. Set that so it's not the default. Okay, object transform reflect. I've turned preview on so you can actually see it reflect before I hit OK. There we go. That's better. I didn't have that path lined up with the center of the image and not right on the guide. Okay, we'll do that. Object transform reflect. There we go. Join those paths. Join those paths. Turn off the upper layer. Okay. this. And I transformed on the wrong axis and had to hit undo. And now that I've done that, there we go. Turn that layer back on, group both of those, and we'll just copy that. Okay, let's turn those off. Why the hell is it doing? Oh, stroke. Okay, turn those off. Get it centered. Okay, I can turn the torch back on and scale this up to about there. I can close that. Okay. Now for the crescent. I need to actually think, because yeah, I think I can use that one. It should have been rotated in a way I can rotate it easily. Okay, so that's going to be on the Gorgeous Herald drive. One of the things I've done is, as I've drawn these, I've made sure there's a resource for the Gorgeous Herald who replaces me when my time is done. I want known world, I want kingdom, and go down to Kaid. Oh, I'm not going to need to pull it from the populous badge. I can pull it from here, and I don't have to worry about if it was rotated evenly that way or not. Okay, close that. I can unlock all that. Make the background sable. And we can start dropping in the semi of crescents. Actually, I believe these are decrescents. Quick check on the blaze and see exactly if I'm right or not. Yep, decrescents. I always get increscent and decrescent backwards, and I try and remember a decrescent looks like a reverse D. Okay. And I really don't like the look of when a semi underlays another charge. It starts looking a little sloppy. Like, let's move charges that need to move up, and I can get rid of that guide. So when a charge underlays like that, I think it just looks sloppy. And I'm going to reduce the size of the crescents. block layers I don't need to work with. Let's mess with the stroke a little bit. Set the stroke to outside. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's set the stroke on these crescents to outside, just to better define them. Okay, for this one, I think I'm going to have to put the crescents behind. Now, that looks good enough. Okay, group the crescents. I can get rid of the reference layer, unlock everything and save it, and now make everything. Why the hell do I? Okay, those should all be 1 point. Okay, and get everything argent. Fine, it wants to. Okay, I don't need to mess with the crescents. make everything 1 point. Okay. Copy, paste. Okay, don't save. Drop this into place. Save that. Let's see what's the next one I'm going to do. Okay, number 39. That's going to be easy doing a counter ermine. Okay. And again, the lion, I've got plenty of lions I can pull from. Okay. Okay. Bring up the arms. Grab the name of the person. Oh, Duke Sven. Okay. There we go. Make sure I just drop it on the right layer this time. Okay. Copy. Lock that. File save as. Okay, I will need the alignment layer to make the checky, or to make the quarterly field. Checky's a whole different monster, so let's hop on to where I'm going to be working. Let's drop a guide for the cut per pale, and drop a guide on the profess line. Okay, we'll lock both those guides. I can get rid of alignment. And before I do anything else, I'm going to make my border. And before I set the border, I'm going to grab Sir Alexi's device because I've got an oral of chain on that. Should save me time having to make a new one. So we'll go into Heraldry, Bloth and Or, Device Outlines, and Illustrator Files, and bring up Sir Alexi's. And grab the oral of chain and just drag that over to Sven's. This way I'm making the border so it will still fit the oral of chain without having to do a lot of modifications. And we're going to invert the colors on that. Okay. Okay, There we go. That's a heavier duty border than I was expecting, but path, and we'll make a compound path on this. That looks about what it would scale up to. Okay, I can get rid of the guides now. No, I can't. I can turn that off and turn that off. Okay, time to make a quarterly division. Okay. Turn some off and start making. Okay, one more to do. And I'll do the ermine, or actually the counter ermine field last, so I can move the spots around the lion. I can turn the border on, turn that on, turn everything on. Okay. Okay, so for quarterly, 1 and 4 are going to be azure. And I'll make 2 and 3 sable for right now, as they're going to become counter ermine. Now I can get rid of the guides. I'm going to rearrange this a little neater. 1, 2, 3, 4, and group the fields. Okay. Now find, I'm pretty sure I have a line that I've done that isn't sable, so that saves me time on line work. So come back into here, Heraldry SCA. Sergeantry, redraws, and redraws. Just do a quick look through. There's one I was working on. Oh, I did not save that with the finished bore. I'll have to go back and fix that. That's a sable lion. One I'm currently working on. Duke Thorns is another sable lion. Okay. Adjust colors it is. Object transform, reflect. Let's move this over here. Okay. And this one's going to be gold when done. Let's make the first section ore now. so I can see what I still need to do. Okay, just do that. And the bottom of the foot. Okay. Now that we've got that taken care of, I can put that onto the, there we go. And don't need to do much scaling. I just going to make it a little smaller so I can get the counter arming spots in about like that. Okay. We can close that back out. And before I forget, I'm going to fix this one. Oh God. I did not save all my work. I lost all that. All the inner details on that. Well, crap. That's a pain in the ass. I'll come back to this later. I'll fix that later. Off stream. Okay. Let's open up Duke Thorn again and grab an ermine spot. Make it a little smaller. Let's make sure this, let's put the stroke on the outside. Okay. Okay. Save. Let's group all the counter ermine spots. Okay. I can get rid of that. Save one more time. Okay, let's make this black and white. Oral of change should have. Okay. Okay, just like these last four claws, that should be everything that needs to be. One Santa Claus missed. Okay, bring in the border for the coloring book. Let's double check. I mean, it'd be a lot easier to fix. Okay, I didn't ruin that one. Okay, drop Sven's into place. So here's the one that I'd finished and I guess I forgot to save. So I just have to redo all the lines on the bore, which, oh, I need to fix that anyway. So I guess it's a happy accident. I'm wondering something. Copy. What if I drop this vector image back into Illustrator? Make a new one. Layer. Group. I can salvage it. Excellent. It's not grouped the way I want it, but I can go back in and manually do that. I don't know why that's a compound path. But again, I can go and let me reopen Duke Barracks. And just drop this right there. Save it. And then close. Okay. Well, I'll be able to at least salvage that. I wanted to try and get through number 42, which would be Ariana's Silken Fire, but I'm probably not going to make it that far, sadly enough. I am definitely going to get Signy's done and attempt for Brendan's. Let's see. With Ariana Silken Fire there, where's that's the one I'm really looking forward to getting to. Number 53, Duke Nukem. Okay, back to my reference on here. Okay, this should be easy enough. I've got the wreath of roses that I can pull off the on-tier coat of arms. So let's see. Signies. We're going to start by opening my new file. Open. That off to the side so I can actually see it. A bend is going to be easy enough to do. Instead of getting rid of the entire alignment, I'm going to get rid of the fess the pale and the bend sinister. I'm going to move the bend up. I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to move the bend up top. And I'm just going to make a copy. Let's go 5. Actually, let's measure this out properly. So I'm just going to draw that until I hit an intersecting. Okay. And I'll move that over here. And I'll just pull this down until I hit intersecting, or very close to it. There we go. Get rid of that. That should be enough of a bend. Okay, I'm going to make myself a copy of this. And I'm going to make these so they're centered. I can close that, or I can lock that one and get rid of it for a moment. Now cut this right here on the intersection. Get rid of that. I'll deal with the other one when I need to. I should have cut the other one's top off, but oh well. What's done is done, because I don't want to dick around with it too much. I can turn this back on. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. Bring up my pen tool. And there we go. We have the bend done. I can now make the field sable. Should have colored the bend first. Okay. Let's open up the Kingdom Von Tears coat of arms, and I'll go grab a couple wreaths of roses. Let's see. Bad redraws. There we go. Onto your consorts. Okay, find the arm that's holding it. Or I just do this. There we go. And I'll just scale you down just a tad. Let's get this centered as best I can eyeball it. There we go. Open up Sven's, because I can just grab the ermine spots from there and drop them in for when I need it. Helps if I'm not in the kingdom ones. Okay, sergeantry, redraws, Sven. Okay, just scale that up a tad. I can close that. Lion Passant. Let's see what I got. Okay. Beasts. That would be the Lion Passant I have. Could have swore I've done another one recently. Okay, let's look through the coloring books. Griffin. I do not have a main to Lion Passant. Okay, we'll go to the Traceable Art Project. Another great resource is heraldicart.org. Okay, gonna go to Beasts. Find Beasts. Okay, go to Lion. There's gonna be a lot of these. Default is rampant. Scroll down to see if I find one I like. Caltrant, dormant, which is no longer allowed. Passant. No. I don't have one that I like available here. Okay. Minimize that. I don't think I'm going to get through Signes tonight. I'm just going to leave this open. File open. Make sure I don't save it over the wrong name. Because I'm probably going to have to modify or trace this, either trace this line or modify another one I have. And I'd rather not do another trace online on stream because that one's going to take a bit longer. Okay, leave that open. I'll just move the shield blank over. Okay, let's open arms. Let's see the next one. Okay, I might get through Ariana's. Okay, so Count Brendan is going to be an easy one. And since, double check, chat Ployard, yeah, that's going to go throughout. Okay, into Illustrator I go. I'm going to need a copy of this. And I copied everything, not just the path. Oops. Okay, unlock that. Let's make these both centered for the stroke. Just drop that where it intersects, lock the guide, and I can get rid of the alignment path. Turn off one of these. And just cut that right there. Get rid of the upper one. Turn that on long enough to give me a just quick references. Lock those guides. Turn that back off. C. No, I want P. I don't want to start that yet. Oh, I forgot to even open up his reference file. That's not the right one. Okay. It's probably under a different name that I didn't account for. just missed it. Okay, file open, appears B. I was looking at for Brandon and I needed Brendan. That would explain it. Okay. Drop this onto the right layer and lock it. Okay. Hit Control C to bring up the tool I want, and we're going to just drag that until I think it looks about right, which is about right there. Okay, object transform reflect. Okay, I can get rid of the guides now. I can make fields the color they need to be. Let's make sure. Oh, that did not line up as much as I wanted it to. I can fix that. Turn that off, merge these, turn that on, give myself a new guide over here. Okay, I can get rid of the guide now. Now I can do that. Okay, let's take care of this big mullet in the first. At first, okay, it's a 6-starred mullet. Bring up the star tool. Select that. Select 6. Just that way I can just get it what I need. Okay. And then the base is elongated. Okay. Now to make the mullety field, I can make it just a tad smaller. And let's ease up that stroke just a tad bit. Okay. This is just letting me get a few across. Okay. Delete those. Now, let's pull those straight down. I don't want to copy them. I'm just going to let that happen. That one can go away. This one can go away. That one can stay. Okay, let's turn those off. Group the mullets. And drop it under there. So, there we go. I swear, this device has more mullets than an 80s hairband. Okay. Get rid of the reference layer. Okay. And everything gets saved one last time. And now it all becomes argent. And grab that. Drop that in. I can close that off. Control C. Close that. Don't save. And 33rd Queen. Let's do Countess Ariana's. It won't take too long. Okay, go into here. File, open. Arms. And that's why I'm glad I have stuff the way I do. So I'm going to shift this one just a tad. File. And I think I need to fix what I made on the coloring book. So, make that all white. was that? Hit no. Yep. There we go. Now, okay, delete that. No, no, no. Delete that. Lock area on the Silken Fire. Make sure I do this first. And I think the alignment is slightly off on the bend and bend sinister. Trying to get it okay, but so it intersects there, but it's just a hair off. So I'm going to use the guide to cut the bend and bend sinister down here. And all the other, and I need to put a guide. Okay, I can lock that again. No. Okay, now I can get rid of the alignment layer because all the other ones are pretty much dead center on everything. Top one I can fudge and make work. Okay. Oh, this is not a gyrony. This is Profess for Saltire. I don't need that. I can get rid of that sooner. It's Profess for Saltire or per Saltire Profess? Quick look. Or Propel, not Profess. Yeah, Propel per Saltire. So it's not a true gyrony. Okay. What I'm going to do here is just drag one point over till it centers out, drag the other point till it centers out. do need that alignment layer just so I have a center. I'll just put down 2 more guides real quick. Okay, let's turn off excess layers and do this one division at a time. Okay, I did do that right. Okay, hide the guides and turn all these back on and see how it looks. Okay. Okay, these are all white, so set those to or. Let's soften the divisions or soften the stroke edges. Okay. And a horse passant. Okay, down into here, find the horses, and that works. Okay, I might be able to modify that into a lion. I swore I did a lion passant recently by modifying something. Let me take a look at. Let me take a look real quick. That might have been what I modified and I'm thinking of. Doesn't help to double check everything though. Okay. Horse passant. File. Oh, it's the unicorn passant. Glad I caught that before I dropped the wrong one in. Sable, the main is Gules, so I'll make sure I maintain that. File open. I can actually do it through here. Let's start by doing that. I don't need the tongue. Oh, no, it does have a tongue. I don't need the pizzle. Okay, we'll just scale that down slightly. Just to scale a little bit more. Okay. Let's do this easily. Find the horn. Okay, let's see if I can do this quickly. Okay, I'm gonna make all the lines white. If I'm going to leave the main, if I'm going to make the main red, I'm going to make all the hair tufts red. And the hooves. Let's see how that looks when I make it sable. I'll mess with that yellow eye in a moment. Turn that sable. No, turn that red. There we go. just get rid of that layer. We'll hit save. Ow. Let's just undo to that point just to make what I'm about ready to do a lot easier. Okay, make this fill white. Match that to that. Match that to that. Shield blank. I can close that. Shield blank. Control C. Control V. No, don't save. Drop this in design and just scale up and center. Okay, that's going to be it. That's getting close to 3 hours of streaming. Oh wow. Okay, have a nice night.